All right, welcome to episode 86 of the Homestead Shop Duck podcast with Al from London Acres, Ben from Holler Homestead, and myself, Jason from Sow the Land. And how's it going over there?
It's going good.
Me and Lorraine were just talking about. She just saw an ad for like we should stand up. It said like something like we should stand up for glyphosate.
What?
Yeah. It was like on a video that she was going to watch, and it just like the first ad was that. It said stand up to glyphosate, and I was like, what?
Wait, stand up to glyphosate or for glyphosate?
Oh, for it. Like for
That's
it.
crazy.
Like stand up for it.
Yeah, it's a hard pass.
It felt like a joke.
Funded by Roundup.
Yeah.
Small text.
It was weird. I was like, it seems like a
crazy.
joke, but it's probably not.
Probably not.
This message was brought to you by Monsanto.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's probably
Bayer.
people for that. There's
Bayer.
probably people for it, I bet. You're right. We should stand up for them. So how's the weather, Al? Are you snowed in?
Not yet, but we're getting close. We've gotten a lot of snow. We got, let's see, we're recording this Monday. We have snow coming. We got snow coming Wednesday, Thursday. I think we're going to get like 4 to 6 inches between the 2 days. And then Saturday, Sunday, we're supposed to get another 10 inches.
Woohoo, that's a lot of snow.
Dang.
We got about 2 feet on the ground right now.
It's crazy how it's so night and day than where we're at.
Yep. I think it was high of like 22 degrees today, and it's supposed to get down to -9 tonight. So this time of the year, if it's clear skies, which it has been at night, it gets really cold because the clouds aren't here to hold the heat in.
Yeah.
So, but it's kind of like a catch-22. We like having the sun out, but if the sun is out, it's usually cold at night because there's no clouds.
That's how
Oh, I
it
see.
goes.
Yep.
Get those clear nights. Man, it is frigid.
Yep.
I saw my first carpenter bee yesterday.
I heard one of you guys talking about the bugs were out already down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope they all come out and then we get a freeze and they all die. Actually, like, I hate to say this. I was out in the orchard today and I saw little buds on one of the peach trees that were showing some red. They weren't open, but they were starting to show color. And I was like, uh-oh. I guess that means it's happening. Spring's here.
Bummer.
It was this week, man. It just warmed up like mid-70s or something. And started to see some flies in the house. I'm like, what?
Yep,
We
us
haven't-
too.
Too early.
We haven't gotten above freezing temperatures for probably a month now.
That's how our January was. We had a lot of cold weather in January, but
Yep.
for you guys, that's normal. You get a couple months of that, don't you?
Yeah, I usually get probably like 2 months. We haven't had a cold snap and snowy like this in a couple of years. But the
Now,
snow,
I gotta ask, like, do you guys like all this snowy weather and the cold?
yes and no. It depends on what you're trying to get done. It's nice having the different seasons. It's nice having the cold and the snow, but too much cold kind of gets annoying. But if you're looking forward to the snow, it's fun. But on the same hand, like if I think about moving down where you guys are, I'm like, man, it'd be nice to have your winters. But I'm like, I don't want your summer.
No. Being
I
from
guess-
up there, yeah, the summers are pretty rough.
And the way I look at it, because when we were in Mass, we kind of thought about where we were going. Because Massachusetts, we couldn't stand their summers. The way I looked at it is, in the wintertime, we're going to hibernate. And at least it's, you're going to be inside more. At least it's winter. You can't do anything outside. If it's hot and nasty in the summertime and the humidity, I'm going to be inside quite a bit. So it's like, do I want to hibernate in the summer or do I want to hibernate in the winter? I guess that's kind of how I think about it.
I guess you just get used to it, huh? I don't know,
We look
man.
forward to, going out on the trails with the snow and grooming and cross-country skiing and stuff like that, camping in the cold. But after a little while, it gets a little old. But so does the heat.
But then it changes, right?
Right.
That's what's
Our
great
snow,
about it. Yeah.
the snow this year has all been powder. So even though we have 2 feet deep, we've been grooming the trails. And then we've been packing them little by little. the areas. So when we had to go, one of the pigs was messing with one of their fence, so we like drove around the fence, and we haven't been out like in there with the side by side with the tracks on. We're sinking down to the grass and bottoming out. There's like no substance to the snow. It's just like powder, all of it. So I think once we get some warm weather and some sunshine, it'll melt quickly.
Yeah.
But I was talking to an old timer that makes maple syrup, and I said to him, I said, hey, the winters we get, I said, with all this snow we're getting, is it going to help you guys for sugaring? He said, no. He said, the winters we have no snow, we have a better sugaring season. The winter we get a lot of snow, it's a poorer year for sugaring. But,
Okay.
On that note, I'll just say a friend of ours, she's from Michigan and she moved down here, and she listens to the podcast, and she was like, so like all of my research, she's found that December is really the time down here in this area to tap maple trees. So thought I'd pass that on. I'm sure you've gotten a million messages about it, Jason.
Oh yes. 1,000,001 maybe, but
so is that when it starts flowing, is in December?
Pretty much. Like I would say fall is pretty much done. The leaves are done falling by, I don't know, November, December. And then I guess, I mean, it makes sense to me, like knowing our, like very local, like right here, this county. I would say, yeah, stuff could start flowing in the end of December.
yeah, we haven't got any more than that quart, any more sap.
Yep. Up here, people are tapping right now if they have big orchards and getting like the lines ran. But if you have you're just tapping your own trees, it's not till like late February, early March that the average person would start tapping a tree. So it's kind of crazy that you guys are December. You're that much further ahead.
Just like months.
Yeah. So did you hear anything, Jason, about like your pigs? Like what happened? Like why YouTube demonetized your pigs playing on top of each other?
Oh yeah. It was because of that.
But they give you like a reason, like why is that like X-rated or anything?
Well, not really. I mean, do they ever really give you a reason? Because I just noticed it was like probably it was like 2 days after I posted that video where I noticed that it was demonetized, and I was like, that's new. Because before it wasn't, and then all of a sudden it was, and then I looked at it, and then I fought it. You could kind of have a person. It says you'll have a person look at it, and so I did, and then less than 24 hours, I get a response back like they said, yeah, no, it's still demonetized. It doesn't, and I was like, but I still didn't know why, and it didn't even dawn on me why it might either. Like. And then I just kind of did my own research on it, and then it tells you like a little clip of it was because of this little clip it was demonetized. And then I was like, what clip? And it was right in the beginning of the video where my 3 little cooney pigs, every time I go out there, you got this one cooney pig that jumps on the back of all of them. Like they're not mating or doing anything explicit.
Standing on them basically.
Yeah, he just jumps on them and like, it's funny, right? And I film it, and I was like, oh, look at piggyback pigs. This is where the term piggyback comes from. And people in the comments seem to really like that when I show that, because I get a lot of comments about it, like, oh my gosh, that's so funny, or what is he? They're just interested in, which makes it fun. And then it was because of that they did, saying that they're mating or they're doing something explicit. And I'm like, and it makes sense because I got demonetized in the beginning before when Zeke would jump on Elvira. And that one I understood because, okay, yeah, he was actually trying to, I mean, even though I didn't show anything, but yeah, he was trying to mate with her, which, I could see where that one could be demonetized. But this one, there's like, they're not even trying to mate at all. But I guess you're not going to be able to tell if you don't know. I don't know. So
you could. I probably better not say that. I was going to say something a little off color. I'll just shut my mouth.
I was going to say something too. I'm like, nope, we probably shouldn't go there.
yeah. So usually I'll just let those videos fly and just be like, okay, it is what it is. You know, there's nothing you can do about it, right? But because I hadn't posted another video after that, it's still a fairly new video. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna delete that video and repost it with that edited out and just talk about it, you know? And I think people appreciated me talking about it as far as people in the comments. Just, you know, being open, like, okay, I had to take this down because of this. And, you know, hey, can you rewatch it for me? You know? And it still didn't get as much views as the previous video. It was almost the same. But it didn't get demonetized, you know? So I was like, I'd rather get little views than be demonetized on a video. At least I get paid for something.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess I'm not showing those pigs jump on each other anymore.
No more piggyback pigs.
Yeah.
My
So
pigs
sad.
do the exact same thing. You know, like
Yeah.
I
Don't show it. Don't show
yeah,
it.
you know, if I haven't filmed chores in a while, and I've been thinking about filming chores, and it's like, well, I guess I can't set the camera where it can see that, you know. And they're the shortest ones are trying to get up to where they can see the feed, and you know, they're just trying to get to the feed before everybody else.
Yeah.
But I mean, try explaining that to someone who doesn't know animals.
Right. And you can't really explain yourself when you try to fight something. You just say, I want to fight it, but they don't, you know, have to explain why or actually talk to somebody, which,
You're guilty until proven guilty.
yeah. So, but it's funny, it was like, I've showed them like that before on previous videos, like a number of videos, and
So
those videos never get demonetized.
The one that got demonetized before, was it at the beginning of the video? You know? Like, I just wonder if that has, like, if you're doing it at the beginning of the video for some reason, if that's more
Usually at
time.
the beginning.
They always usually are.
I mean, because it's in the morning. Usually, like I'm starting the video feeding the pigs, and usually it's in the morning. That's why I'm surprised that the other ones didn't.
Right.
Maybe it just detected that one for some reason. I don't know. Yeah, it's
If you've been demonetized for that same issue before, they probably have your channel flagged. Watch for piggybacks. Oh, there it is. Demonetized.
yeah.
How dare they show pigs playing and having
Watch for
fun?
piggybacks. This guy likes to show piggyback pigs.
It's that piggyback offender again. Demonetized.
Sicko. It's that sicko.
Yeah,
with the
this
little
sicko.
pigs.
This sicko with the small hairy pigs.
Yeah, so I don't know. So yeah, I guess I'm not showing that anymore. So, or I'll blur it out. Just it's kind of funny, but
that might send a clearer message. But then people who don't know are going to see that and see the blurring and be like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, his pigs are wild. So yeah, that was the beginning of the week. So I don't know, video did fine. I was happy I reposted it. So what else? I got a new chicken coop, portable chicken coop, which a company sent me. And it's pretty convenient putting it together. Then having to cut all the wood and like having to pound in, you know, poultry net and bending metal, and you know, compared to all of that, it's like, oh my gosh, this is so. It's luxury putting that
What's
thing
the
together.
company called?
They're actually porta-coops, but the website is Happy Farmer, happyfarmer.store or something. They sell all kinds of different sizes. And those coops they're quite a bit expensive. But it should last forever because it's the same coop that you got, Al, right?
Yeah, we've had ours for we going on the 3rd or 4th year.
You haven't had any predators come in there?
Nope.
Yeah.
And we've left the tarp on. And I don't take it off in the winter because I'm like, people are gonna ask me questions about it. It's like I don't want to like abuse it, but I want to like use it and just leave it out and see what happens.
Yeah.
We bought ours. We're not sponsored by it or anything, but yeah, the tarp is awesome. Like we haven't had it sun faded. We don't have any cracks in it. It's holding up really well. I thought the tarp was weird. It could have been a little bit longer. Like it's when you're trying to stretch it, it doesn't like, but the quality of it's great. It's fun.
Yeah, I guess a lot of concern is that because it's just a tarp, right? It's not like a chicken net or nothing. So you would think an animal can just like go right into the tarp and go inside.
No, we haven't had any issues. We haven't had anybody dig under it. We haven't. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I ended up doing is I got one of the nesting boxes that the eggs roll to the outside of it in the collection tray. So I cut some of the metal out so I can mount the nesting box so the chickens can get in, and then I can just stay outside and collect the eggs because we use ours for our egg layers.
That's nice. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna use ours for broilers. So, yeah.
How many broilers will it hold?
I think it said 80. It's gonna be about 80.
That'll be nice.
And 30 turkeys.
Okay.
So
the turkeys. The turkeys are nice, and we had turkeys in with our layers last year, and it's nice because like we use our style. It's kind of like a smaller Joel Salatin. So when you like the turkeys don't have a lot of headroom, but when they're in that coop, they have plenty of room.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was cool. It just the tarp was probably the hardest part to put on. And once you figure that out, I mean, it's pretty tight now. So we'll see. I mean, I'm probably going to use it. Well, I am currently using it for other animals. Because we just got 2 new pigs today. So I picked up 2 Idaho pasture pigs.
Did.
And we put them right in that coop.
Nice.
How big are they?
They're 2 months old, so they're still smaller than my 1-year-old coonies. Not by much, but they're going to get bigger than them for sure. A boy and a girl. I wasn't too picky on male or female, but I just want to see how they're going to grow compared to the coonies, and we'll probably butcher them this winter.
Okay, so they're not breeders.
No, I didn't get them for breeding. I'm not going to breed them with Zeke or nothing or Elvira or anything. I'm just going to grow them out. And we just put them in the coop. That coop couldn't have came at a more better time for us, honestly, because we put them in there for now. They're going to, they're very skittish of me. So we're just going to leave them in there for now and move them around, and hopefully they can get used to me. I need to let them know that I'm the snack man.
That's right.
So, yeah, that should be fun, though. And then I just started making another like a big. I guess it's like a compost shelter kind of, but it's basically a lean-to shed. Kind of like how I had one at our old property, but it was a high tunnel, and we raised pigs in there and bring in wood chips and all that. So I'm doing that same thing, except it's not a high tunnel; it's a lean-to shed. So I'm building something like that right now. I put in 8 posts in the ground, which
you
took
love
me like
digging post holes.
Huh?
I said you love digging post holes, don't you?
I don't love it. No. I can't get away from it, apparently.
Your shoulders must be getting huge using that thing.
Oh, I know.
I
am. It's a workout.
Every time I see you use that, I'm like, man, he must sleep good at night after he does a day work with that thing.
That's a lot of lifting over your head.
It's getting me sore for sure.
And then the pounder, that's going to be a workout too. The automatic pounder.
Yeah, I'm getting buff. Yeah, I put in 8 posts. So that took me like, I want to say 3 days off and on of doing a couple of posts here, a couple of posts there. So I'm not done with the shelter currently right now. So I don't know when I'm going to be done because we're supposed to get some rain. So I bet you it might take me a few weeks to get it all done. But my goal is to use it to put pigs in the winter, or maybe, another animal like sheep. Maybe that's kind of like an area you put sheep in, or also gardening tools. Like part of it's going to be for shovels and rakes and stuff, so I could get that out of the barn and closer to our garden areas. So it's just kind of be I don't know, I guess what you call a loafing shed.
How big you making it?
It's 30. I think it's 12 by 30.
Good size.
That's pretty big.
Which that was the same size as my high tunnel that I had.
The high tunnel you had, or like the area you made for the pigs back at the other property?
That was for the high tunnel.
The high tunnel.
The high tunnel was that size.
Yeah.
So I just kind of went off of that because I really like that high tunnel. And I debated if I should do another high tunnel or if I should just do one of these lean-to sheds. And I think what it came down to was, one, I never really liked the tarp on a high tunnel. Trying to get away with tarps. And it's easier to collect water off a lean-to shed.
Say that.
And with a high tunnel, there's really only one way in and one way out, right, at the both ends.
Yep.
And with the lean-to, there's more options there. Like if I wanted to come in and scoop some stuff out, I could go in either direction. And, or if we had a couple of steers, we could put them in there. I feel like they're just more versatile. It's more versatile with a lean-to shed. You can hang stuff on the wall, so that's why I went with that. What else? I have my list here. I think that's about it, man. I've just been building that thing, and yeah. We're still a month away before we get broilers, but that's going to come quick.
How big's your first batch?
It's going to be 60.
Nice.
And then the batch after that's going to be 150.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Broiler season is nearly upon us.
Mm-hmm.
We still got a few more months.
Yeah, you still got time.
We get till May. That's when, I think towards the end of May, we get our first batch.
Man, we're going to be processing in May.
Yeah, your winters are longer.
Yep.
Or your winters are longer. I wouldn't say your downtime's longer, because it's not really downtime, but
No. The snow keeps us busy. Just keeping everything picked up and cleaned up. That's the worst part about it, the snow. It's not, you don't get any more downtime. Your projects are different because you can't do everything you want to do, and then it seems like you spend a lot of time cleaning up.
I went to Lowe's the other day, and I wanted to get 2x6, 12 feet long, and they were all sold out. Our local Lowe's. And I was like, when are you getting them in? They couldn't tell me. So I had to go another Lowe's today. I'm like, how can you run out?
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, they had every other wood there, and the wood that I actually needed was gone. I was like, I had to go to a Lowe's that was further out. They had them. I'm like, come on.
Something I need to figure out. I need to start putting out feelers. I want to find if there's like a small sawmill around here, maybe even just a dude that does it. Someone who saws up locust wood. Locust wood will outlast pressure treated wood by 30 years. That's something I like. There's plenty of locust wood everywhere you look. It's a weed tree, so there's got to be someone sawing it. I don't know. That's something I would love to be able to find, is some decent sized locust.
I would think so. I know, probably some Amish guy. I need to figure out how to hang out with the Amish, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
I need an Amish friend. Hey, can I be your friend?
Teach me your ways.
That's it, guys.
That's it. I went to Lowe's and I was looking for some different pieces and parts, and it said they had them all in stock. So I asked the guy, I was looking for one of them, like, hey, do you have this? He's like, oh, no, we're all out. I just looked for them the other day for somebody else too yesterday, and we couldn't find them. He's like, I'll take them out of inventory today, and we'll reorder them. I'm like, well, why didn't you do that yesterday?
Yeah.
He's like, you can drive to another store there. I'm like, the other store's an hour and a half away. I'm like, I'm going to go to your competitor. I'm like, I'm not driving an hour and a half. They're like $4 a piece kind of thing. I think I need like 8 of them. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go to your competitor down the street.
Got to be quick with buying, reordering stuff. I don't know. We used to have a joke when we were kids. There was a grocery store when we were kids, and I don't even remember what it was, but my mom, there was a lot of us. There were 6 of us. And so my mom would go and we'd find something that we liked. And so she'd start buying it. And then before you know it, the shelf would be empty. And then we'd go, the next week, go grocery shopping, and there wouldn't be anything on the shelf. And then a week later, and finally she'd ask the, nearest person stocking stuff. And they'd be like, oh yeah, we couldn't keep that item on the shelf. So we quit ordering it. We're not going to carry it anymore. It's just like, what? That makes no sense.
Then you order double the amount and keep it coming.
Was like that Rural King. I went to Rural King today too, and they're still out of fence posts. I mean, it's been like, I don't know, 3 months. Last time I checked, they're still out. So
can you order them online?
There's other Rural Kings that have them, but I don't think I can order it online and have it delivered. Or like pick it up, or even pick up. I don't think. I would have to go to another Rural King.
I don't even know where the nearest Rural King is.
Yeah, I don't know either. But when I went to Lowe's, I was like, because I need 16-foot long 2x6s, and I was like, if I load up some 2x6s here, can you just guys deliver them? So they don't have, so they're not picking them out. And they were like, yeah, we can't do that. Like, we have to pick them out. You got to order them, and then we'll pick them out, and then we'll deliver. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no. Heck no. They show up on the truck, and the bottom ones have been forklifted to death, and yeah,
That's what happened. Yeah. That's what happened last time. And I just thought, well, what if I pick them out and then just have them delivered? I guess you can't do that. So
they want to give you the worst of the worst.
Yeah. So what else? How would you get into?
We've been working on our walk-in cooler. That's been like, we've been fighting it. We'll put it that way for a bit. It comes in 6 pieces. The walls are in 4 pieces, and the way they're like a U. So where they cut them, the ends, like they're supposed to be a 90-degree ends, and they bowed out. I don't know if they bowed out because when they cut them apart, like there was just pressure and they bowed out, if they got bent when they stacked them. But that has been a struggle to get straight. So we've been it's like one of those projects. It's like, oh, this was going to go quick and easy. And it did at first. And I was like, what is going on? This project that should be quick isn't. But so we've been struggling with that. We got like the walls put up. They're not perfectly square, the corners. I think I would say they're at like a 85-degree angle instead of a 90-degree angle, but they're probably like 120. So they're like a 95-degree angle. They were probably at like a 120-degree angle when we first started. But I had to get creative with ratchet straps and eye bolts and getting some 4x4 posts put up in my walls. And
nice.
What a hassle.
Yep. I'm like, it's one of those.
No one's gonna know, right? Except for you.
No, just me. It's just time. It's like one of those things. It's like when you try to like save some money and upcycle something. It's like,
yeah,
I saved a good amount of money, but I spent probably that amount in time trying to reuse this stuff. But
when you're recording yourself doing it, it's better to have the time, right?
I don't know if it's better to have more time because people don't want to watch boring videos of you trying to fight something all the time.
Yeah.
You can make more videos and better videos if the progress goes along better. That's what I find.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
That's true.
So a lot of times we don't do stuff like this because it takes too much time. And people don't want to watch a couple of videos all the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, because you just want to hurry up and build it and make the video and then move on.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what's hard.
I'm enjoying the process now. Like once we get past that, and I think the whole time I'd be enjoying it. But in the back of your head, it's like, man, this is gonna go faster. Like I only have so much time to get this done. I can't keep making more videos out of the same part. Like we gotta get this done.
So did you finish?
We don't have the whole cooler finished, but we have that part of the process done.
Okay.
It's going to take us a while, just the way we want to do it. We're going to redo the walls. What did you use for wall sheeting in your trailer?
That FRP stuff is like textured.
How thick is yours? Is it like 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch?
It's not that thick. I don't know. Maybe
Mine's
a quarter.
I got like an 1/8 inch, I would say. The stuff
Yeah,
I
or
got.
that. I don't know if they have different ones. Just whatever the Lowe's had.
Yep. How was it to work with?
It's a pain in the butt. The ceiling is the pain in the butt.
Yeah, I'm dreading that part.
The ceiling, because yeah.
Yeah.
I made a thing out of 2x4s where you kind of had to hold it up like an extra arm.
Yep.
Because you put the glue stuff, and then it has to hold there in place till it dries.
So what did you glue it to? Did you glue it to metal or did you glue it to
the foam?
The foam. Okay. So our foam is covered in like aluminum, thin aluminum. So the FRP glue, I had to buy the expensive one.
Oh.
I was like, ugh, it's like $75 normally for like a 3.5 or 4-gallon pail.
Yeah.
The one I had to get was $200.
What?
Yeah.
I had to order it. I was like, ugh, because the one that they have at the store, it'll stick to everything but metal. And I was like, I'm glad I read that because that would have been a nightmare, like having it fall down on you and not having it work. So I'm like, ugh.
What might be easier to hold the roof in place if you put it up that first and then you put the walls up.
So when I was at a butcher shop one time, so if any of you guys have a recommendation, know where you can get them, let me know. They had this kind of stuff up, but they had white push rivets also, and that were plastic. So I'm like, well, that's got to be like food grade. But so it's like, oh, if you could get those, you could put it up there, and then you could just put the push rivets in to hold it while it dries, so you'd have it glued and then it wouldn't be falling on your head.
That's what part of it I did too. But I didn't use push rivets. I just used screws.
Yep.
And I stainless steel screws, and I screwed it in with big washers, and I screwed the roof in to hold it in place, and I just left the screws in.
Because I don't have anything. As I'm talking, I just looked them up. I don't have anything I can screw to because I got 4 inches of foam. So I want the push rivets. I think might work just to hold it while it dries, and then once everything's dry, it won't really matter. As I'm fighting these corners, I'm like, this is a pain. I'm like, oh man, hanging this FRP is gonna be a pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just screw it in. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, you would have to screw it it would screw into the metal. Is that right?
The metal's super thin. It's like the metal's probably like a 1/16 of an inch.
Because you're doing the FRP over the metal, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or do you put studs on the underside of them, on the other side of that?
Then you'd have to have 4-inch or 5-inch long screws.
Yeah.
I think I'll look for the push rivets and see if that'll work.
Yeah, because that stuff's kind of heavy too, the FRP stuff.
So I think that Lowe's had 2 different kinds. They had a little bit thicker one. That's kind of, I think, what I would see in the butcher shop. Then they had another one that was thinner that they called plastic board. And that's still food grade, but it was a lot thinner and it's a lot more like movable, which I think will be nice to like get it to stick to the wall. But for the ceiling, it might be even more flimsy to have it fall on your head.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy. Or, yeah, I don't know.
I found some. I think I got most of the things ordered because it's like I don't. Okay, I want to know this. How quick do you guys get Amazon deliveries if you order something?
It's pretty
Depends. Yeah, it's pretty
I think it's
quick.
quick.
Like, you know, there's some items I've ordered and I get them the next day, which is kind of weird. Generally, it's like 2 to 3 days.
So before the pandemic, we would get everything in 2 days. Ever since then, sometimes it's the average is a week, if not 2 weeks, before we get stuff. So when we're doing projects, if you need
Wow.
something that nobody local has, it's like I gotta like think way ahead of time to get all the stuff ordered.
Damn. You must be way out there.
We're not though. Like, I
Well,
don't.
if you're getting deliveries in 2 days, yeah, it was the same
Yeah.
for us. Like after
That's true.
2020 happened, it went from we could order stuff and it was here the next day or 2 days. All of a sudden, it was like stretched out to a week, and it was just like, okay, this is different, but it's kind of caught back up.
Ours hasn't. Some stuff has, but very randomly do we get it like in a couple of days. Most of the time it's a week if you're lucky, but most of the time it's 2 weeks to get products. Do
So
you
you
guys have who delivers it? Amazon trucks or UPS?
A lot of times it's Amazon, like Amazon vans. But if they're real busy, we'll either get it in the mail, like the mail will bring it, or we'll, it'll be UPS or FedEx or, one of the carriers. We also
some
have
random guy.
Yeah, flex drivers. It's kind of like Uber Eats for Amazon.
Yep.
I don't particularly like those guys because they drive really crazy up our driveway and there's no markings on their vehicles. Like, who the heck is here at 9 o'clock at night? You don't do that out in the country.
Yeah.
So we don't have the Amazon trucks around here. They have them in the southern part of New Hampshire. So I don't know if that's the reason. If they're just like, meh, Amazon trucks don't deliver it up here. Like, so they take their time on the UPS stuff. But
So do you have to do the FRP or can you just use the aluminum?
it's nasty. Like you could, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of dingy. And so I'm like, no, let's do the FRP. And it'll be nice and bright in there too once we're done.
Yeah. You can paint it.
Yeah, but so there's joints, and some of the joints are missing the plastic that were in the joints because they cut the joints with the Sawzall. So you'd have to
I
do
see.
something in some spots. I'm like, just to make it look better,
Just cover it all up.
cover it all up. Yeah, it's gonna be our food hanging in there. So
Yeah. You just got to keep at it and work at it.
right, and then the snow has been
Hold it in place.
Right,
That's going to be our next thumbnail.
be my thumbnail. But then between that and then having to stop and clean up a lot from the snow, it's been slowing the project down. But it's going good. We got a good amount done. Now we got just a good amount of snow. It'll be interesting to see what it's like later this week. Once the podcast comes out, we'll have already had 2 big storms back to back, and then we'll be having another one right after. So we're going to be getting buried, I think.
Al, you got a drywall elevator. Could you use that?
Ooh, yeah.
I don't. If I put a piece of plywood under it, I could probably use it. But I
Because
could.
FRP's flimsy.
It's flimsy. But if I just took a piece of plywood and then put that, I could probably sandwich it up there. But you'd have to leave it there until it was dried then, because unless maybe instead of doing plywood, maybe I could do like figure out how to connect like 4 2x4s. Maybe, I don't know.
Like a frame.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just a thought. I've got a drywall elevator that Meg's grandpa gave me a while ago, and I'm just kicking it around, and it's one of those things, like, I'm never getting rid of it, especially because, it came from her grandpa, but every time I see it, it's like, man, I feel like I need to either loan this out or do some drywall because, I mean, that's not something I've ever thought about buying. Glad to have it.
Yeah.
They come in handy when you need them, though, for sure.
I'll remember that if I build a walk-in, that you have one.
It's just collecting dust in the barn.
But that's pretty much been my week. So, what you get into this week, Ben?
Well, what about the water situation? You still dealing with that?
Yeah,
We're
we
still
shut
frozen.
it off. It's still frozen. We shut it off. I think it's been hard because we haven't. I think the warmest day we had was like 25 degrees and it was super windy. So it's like it'd be nice if we had a spell that was like 25 or more and no snow in the forecast. Because I'm like, I don't want to start this project and have terrible weather or have a bunch of snow coming. And then I want to line up like a load of sand. So when I dig it out, and I can backfill it with sand. Because once I dig the ground out, if it sits for a day, it's all going to freeze if it's wet. So I think we can just get some sand to fill it all back in with.
So you're watering your animals by filling up
A 60-gallon tote twice a day.
Where are you filling it up at? At the house or something?
At the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, this is what I'm glad we have all the. It's a pain, but it's actually, I mean, it's not that bad. It's better than doing 5-gallon buckets.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes a little bit longer to fill I don't know, it probably takes an extra 10 minutes a time, I would say, but I'm just like, well, it's better than lugging buckets. I can just drive around with a side-by-side.
Oh, man.
All right. So last week, I guess we're just both going to bring up the last week's drama. All right. So I talked about the tractor last week and the woes I've had. I actually kind of think I'm like, it's usable right now. So been having the fuel problems. The last time I took it apart, I cleaned everything out. Well, I guess I'll get to it. Talking about my week. Towards the end of the week, it didn't get filmed, but I've been working on clearing the 1 acre plot we have next door. All the downed trees from the hurricane and stuff like that. I'm opening up access. I'm going to put fencing in there. I'm going to run pigs in there. And so there's a lot of cleanup. Plus, I don't like the kids going in there with all the hung up trees and stuff like that. Like, it's just like, it's not real safe. Like, they're not going to just fall randomly unless we have like some wind or something. But still, it's just like, I don't like that. So I'm doing something about it. Well, I've needed the tractor. I've been using the tractor, and it has died on me a couple times, but not like it was before I, put 3 new fuel filters on it. It's working. It's still kind of like there's a sound the motor makes when I can tell it's starting to choke up. It's like it just starts running kind of funny, I guess you could say. And so I've noticed if it does die, I can get down where the fuel filter is, and there's a little breather. If you if you have to crack it and drain it, if you have water in the line, there's like an air breather. You unscrew the little breather, and then you crack the thing, and it'll let the water out. And then to get you close it all back up, and then there's a little pump on top. You pump it a couple times, and it'll get the air out of the fuel filter. Well, I noticed that little pump on top, it's spring-loaded. When the motor dies, that thing gets sucked all the way down tight. And as soon as you open that air breather, it'll pop back up. So I found if the thing dies, I can go crack that little breather. The thing takes a breath, I guess, and the tractor will fire back up. It gets fuel again. So thinking about it, the only place that I did not blow out when I was cleaning all the lines out was the actual mount where the fuel filter attaches. There's 2 little hard lines that you attach the rubber hoses to. I didn't blow those out. Didn't think to. So I can try that, but as it is right now, it's working. Knock on wood. like I said last week, it's reliably unreliable.
Fuel
It hasn't left me stranded yet. Like I've been able to, if it dies, I can fire it back up and keep working. But man, my trust in this piece of equipment has been severely tried.
Do you still have your fuel filters, the old ones?
Yeah, I still got them. They look brand new, like they're perfectly clean.
Okay, I was going to say, could you cut them open and see if the filter themselves, so the filter's clean, so it's not plugged. Is your fuel cap vented? And if not,
No, it's not.
So look to see. It's got to have a vent somewhere. I wonder if your vent's plugged.
That's a really good point. About the time this started happening, because I don't know, I probably had it a year and a half, 2 years almost before it started acting like this. And one of the things that I have noticed is when I go to put fuel in it, you unscrew the cap and it just goes, it takes a huge breath. So it didn't used to do that. Like even the other day, finding out that something's plugged, I unscrewed the cap and it seemed like the motor started running a little bit better with the cap, just, kind of loosely threaded in there to where it doesn't seal. So now I'm wondering, where's a vent?
Yep. Especially when you said that when you open up that little breather, or whatever you want to call it, that it starts to run. I bet you it's getting vapor locked. So there's a vent that's plugged.
Like I said last week, like I found all kinds of bug wings and stuff like that. I did find a wasp in the return line that goes from like your fuel system back to the tank. There was a couple pieces of a wasp that blew out when I blew that line out. But yeah, I don't know. I'll probably dig into it here before long, but it's one of those things. It's working now, so I'm not going to freak out too much about it. It's just don't feel like I can trust this tractor right now.
Yep. Yeah. Next time it happens, just I wonder if you open up your fuel tank a little bit, if you'll hear it go like you said, and if it'll start running better.
I'll have to do that. It's kind of hard. Like usually when it dies, I'm like in a really bad spot on a hill, and so I've got a manual transmission, so I've got both feet in use, one on the brake, one on the clutch. One on the steering wheel, my hands on the steering wheel, and like to turn around and unscrew that cap. It's kind of, I need a third arm or something like that, but I'm gonna try it.
What model is your tractor?
It's a CK2610, and it's
I'm researching just quickly, and it says tractor forum, August 21st. Fuel issues driving me crazy, and somebody says you have a blockage, obstruction somewhere in your fuel system. And it might be as simple as a plugged vent. And that's the CK2610.
Yeah, we're going to get it licked. Gonna figure it out.
You are. I wonder what's in the vent.
It's probably a mud dauber, honestly. Or a stink bug. Like, it's going to be something so dumb, and I'm going to find it and just be like, are you kidding? Like, for real?
Yep.
All right. Other than tractor issues, so like we very much took advantage of the super warm weather we had last week, and I started putting in more garden beds. We realized, I don't know, probably last year that we've got these garden plots that are kind of east of the house, and we can't really see them from the house, not too well. They're just kind of out there, and we realized if we don't go out there on a regular basis, then we forget about it. And all the other beds we see every day, we visit between the house and the barn, and so we've decided to kind of maximize our garden space that's in, I would call it zone 1. So I've been adding like terraces, just log beds. I'm just parking logs on the hill and drilling in some posts to hold everything and then filling them with dirt. I built one last year and it actually did pretty well for a first year bed. So we're building a whole bunch more. So that's kind of a twofold attack, getting into the woods to get these down trees. I need logs, and none of these logs are big enough to really mill. Anything that's big enough to mill, I'll set aside and I'll mill it with the chainsaw. But all these pine trees, like, they're under 12 inches. So perfect use, build garden beds out of them. I'm sure in a few more years when these trees finally start to rot, as garden bed borders, there will be more trees down somewhere, and so I can get logs to replace them, or maybe build retaining walls or something. I'll burn that bridge when I get there. But yeah, took advantage of the nice weather. Been out in the garden playing around. It's been really nice.
Just keep rubbing it in.
I will. Yeah, speaking of rubbing in, I actually had to put some lotion on my neck from getting a sunburn.
Oh man,
I really had to rub it in.
Out. Oh, I gotta put some lotion on from getting frostbite on my cheeks.
Hey, today was actually kind of cold. I had to break out a jacket today while I was on the tractor. I think it was 50 degrees today, so it's kind of cold.
Yeah. It was a little chilly.
Sorry, Al. I'll just rub it in. I feel that I am in a place where I can rub it in a little bit, because I am also not used to cold like this, because it never got cold in California. Not like this.
One of these winters we'll have to have you guys up here.
One day.
The longer we're here, the more we're adjusting to it. It's been 6 years, and it's okay, it's cold, but it's not that cold. Single digits are cold, but once everything starts freezing, it's cold. Now, I haven't experienced sub-zero temperatures. You're like, oh yeah, it's -16. It's I'm happy with 8 degrees. This is fine.
-16 is not too bad. It's -30 or 40. You go outside and instantly your nose hairs freeze, and you're just it's oh, that's when it's cold.
Man.
So how cold does it have to be before your diesel starts gelling in your machines?
It gets below freezing, below zero.
Okay.
So I'll start treating in the winter. I'll start treating the diesel.
That's something I've never had to deal with. I'm sure eventually I will, but.
And nowadays it's different. It doesn't gel. It separates into wax. And then you get wax all stuck in your fuel lines. It's because the diesel is different than it used to be. So they have different additives or something in it. So supposedly in the winter time, they switch the fuels over, or they take something out so it won't wax. But the real issue you get into is if it's been a warm fall or winter and they don't change over the stuff, because I guess it's more expensive to make the other fuel. And then you get a cold snap and they haven't been putting the good diesel out. That's when you get an issue.
I can't imagine if we move to your area now, the learning curve there of what you just said right now, I would have no idea about that. There would just be stuff I wouldn't even think of.
Yep. You just learn over time.
And you just, I gotta befriend with somebody that's lived there their whole life or something and knows what's up, because we would be lost. Yeah. I was like, why is this happening? Because
I want my tractor start.
Because it's freaking cold.
Yeah, so other than that, really clearing the woods is what I've been working on towards the end of the week and over the weekend. I've been having fun. It's one of those projects. It's not real technical. It's just a lot of cleanup, and it's something I've wanted to do for a long time. And, those projects, when you finally get around to it, it's just this is great. It feels good, kind of feeds your soul in a way, seeing a project get done that you've wanted to get done for a long time. It's kind of like scratching that itch that has just been bothering you. So, yeah, that was my week. A lot of cleanup, a lot of garden bed playing in the dirt. Felt really nice to get my hands in the dirt. I'll say that. I guess I haven't touched, as they say, touch grass. I haven't touched grass in a while, and it felt good.
When can you guys start planting your gardens? Your cold weather crops, broccoli. Will you guys do broccoli, early and early cold weather crops, or?
Probably like March. It's kind of hard. Like I've still got cabbage and broccoli in the greenhouse that we're eating. Um, some of it's like long, long dead, long frozen. Like the broccoli's all gone, but there's a few cabbages left in the greenhouse. But this year, like we grew a whole bed of cabbage outside in the garden, and it kind of looks a little like burned on the edges where we had, the 8-degree weather. But you just peel off those outside leaves and everything's fine. So as far as planting new stuff, I think March we could probably get away with planting stuff. I know we're going to be planting potatoes in the greenhouse again because they did really good last year. And we planted in the end of February. So we're rolling up on it.
You are getting close.
Yeah, I think Lorraine's planning on starting seeds here in the next week, maybe, or something. I don't know. Probably for a greenhouse. So,
That'll be cool.
Yep, it's slowly starting again.
It's ramping back up. We've come around. Feels like just yesterday we were talking start and doing stuff like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, every year just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a weird feeling, I think, because it's like the same stuff year after year, kind of, but it's a little bit different. I don't know.
I know what you mean.
I don't know. Like, you've just been doing it for a while, and so you're just like, it's just like a circle, and we're going to do it again. I don't know.
But you're going to get better at it.
And every year I'm like, what did we do last year? Oh, yeah. Or you start to think of like what worked and what didn't. Or you might do the same thing again that it didn't work before, but you forgot. Like, oh, yeah, that didn't work last time.
I want to get better with like noting or journaling for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then you also got to go back and read it. So like, I don't do that because I'm like, I know I'm not going to, like, maybe one day I'll be like the old guy that has like all the books. Like, oh yeah, I went back and looked last year, like, over the years, but I'm not there yet.
I know.
I've actually thought about doing that with the weather. Just,
Yes.
That's how the Farmer's Almanac came to be. It was just people journaling and keeping track of stuff. I've thought about doing that like every day. Here's a weather report. Yeah. Just journal it. It'd be kind of cool to do it with spreadsheets and stuff like that to where you can like go back to certain days, certain times, just whatever data you record. That'd be kind of cool.
Yep.
Yeah, no, the hard part is remembering that you took notes of that one thing. Right?
Yep.
Like, oh, like you write it down and you're just like, don't ever look at it again. That's what's hard about it too. Yeah, I know. That's where old guys reminiscing in my old books. I wrote a lot of stuff in here. Why didn't I even look at this stuff? I look at it now when I don't need it.
Diaries of Solar Land. You can make a book when you're older and sell it.
Yeah. Just all chicken scratch. Oh, it says, don't trust no pig. Don't trust no pig.
Don't show no piggyback pigs.
Yeah. No piggyback pigs. Cross it out.
Like right over the years, like how like the YouTube algorithm has changed, like what you can and can't show over the years. We used to be able to do butchering. Now we can't.
I know.
We used to be able to show
animals.
Yeah, you can't even show them.
You can't even show the animal at all. They literally have to just be standing there staring.
You can put up a cardboard cutout. This is what a pig looks like.
Yeah. They used to look like this. Now they're all AI generated. All right, guys. I think that's it. We're about an hour here. Thank you guys for listening. I think this was a good one. Thank you guys. Leave a comment, leave a review on iTunes if you're listening to us there, or Spotify. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you guys, and hope you guys have an awesome week. And we'll see you guys next week.
Have a good week, everyone.
Later, everybody.